Swan Lake Evangelical Free Church and Pastor James, greetings. I'm Dave Linde. I am on the staff of the North Central District of the Free Church, and I'm greeting you by video today. I sure wish I could be there in person, but the weather just wouldn't allow it. I am hopeful that this will be satisfactory, beaming in like this by video, and I'm pleased to be able to do this. I'm standing down here in my basement study at my house, and I'm just shooting this on my smartphone. I think it will be adequate. I hope it will be. And again, I wish I could be there in person. But I am pleased and honored to be with you, even in this way, on this special occasion. James and I had a phone call this past week, a video call together, and I got acquainted with him a little bit. It was a pleasure to do so. And here on this very first Sunday of him being with you all, it's an honor for me to be there as well. I was asked to bring a charge to James and then another charge to the congregation, which is very customary in a pastoral installation, and I'm pleased to do that today. So let's begin with a charge to you, James, to begin with, and then I'll move to the charge to the congregation in a separate filming. So, Pastor James, brother, what do I say in a charge to a new pastor? There's so many things that could be said biblically and practically speaking. I want you to know that I'm speaking to you as a brother and as a colleague, shoulder to shoulder, side by side. I am not talking down to you as though I'm the expert and I have it all together. I'm still very much a learner in pastoral ministry. But I have chosen a particular charge based in part on my own learning curve and based on what I observe in a number of churches and lives of pastors over the years, and I think it's an important thing. I'm sure I'm not telling you anything new, but this will be a good review point, I trust, for you. And I'd like all of you in the congregation to pay careful attention to this, as you'll find out here shortly, because it applies to you as well. In Paul's letter to Titus, the first chapter, where he is enumerating a list of character qualifications for an elder or a pastor, one of those character qualifications is this: self-control. Self-control. Some of the English translations translate this concept: be sober-minded, be sensible, be prudent. This character quality is the basis for my charge to you today, James, as the new pastor of Swan Lake Free Church, and going forward into the weeks and months and years ahead. My charge to you is this: use good judgment. Use good judgment. Grow in and exhibit this particular quality of an elder, of a pastor, of an overseer. Be self-controlled. Be sensible. Be sober-minded. Be prudent. The idea here is inner control in a good, healthy sense that leads to outward good judgment. Good judgment in actions and in words. The idea is found in the 5th chapter of Mark's Gospel, where you may remember the incident in the life of Jesus where he casts out a number of demons from the man who would run around in the cemetery there among the tombs. And the man was out of control. He was wild. He was controlled by these demons. Jesus casts out those demons, and when the townspeople come to see what had happened, the text says they found the man sitting there in his right mind. That's the idea. of this New Testament theme. He was now no longer out of control. He was in control. There was an inner sense of control and poise and balance and equilibrium and so on that led to an outward control, again, in a healthy sense. He was now exhibiting good judgment. He was in his right mind. This is a theme in Paul's letter to Titus. He points out the necessity of this in the life of the pastor or the elder. And then 5 additional times in the book, he mentions this idea for the whole congregation. So congregation, I hope you're listening in here as I make this charge to James, because this applies to everyone. But it especially is important for the pastor because its implications are so far-reaching. James, you and I know that there are many, many situations in pastoral ministry that call for good judgment. Many, many examples of this. It can be very nuanced, and it's something we learn over the course of time. For example, do I engage this situation or do I let it go? Is this circumstance something to pick up or leave be? In this particular situation, do I speak up or do I remain silent? If I speak up, what should I say? And how should I say it? Good judgment not only involves the what and the why, but often and especially the how of what we do. Good judgment involves a sense of proportion, a sense of perspective, a sense of what's more important and what's less important in the life of this person or in the specifics of this situation or circumstance. This kind of good judgment, this kind of inner control will keep you from springing on something when you shouldn't. It'll keep you from shrinking back from something when you shouldn't. It involves self-awareness. It involves having a handle on, a good, healthy inner control, having a handle on your own issues, brother. Your own issues so that they won't interfere with shepherding God's people well. So your own issues, whatever they might be, if I know what mine are, and where I need to use self-control, but whatever those internal issues might be that might prompt you to poor judgment, you need to be aware of those and have a Holy Spirit-led control over them, whether it's pride or insecurity, envy, competition, anger, defensiveness, and so on. Good judgment is being aware of those things and not letting them have the upper hand in the way that you pastor. So that's my charge, brother. Use good judgment in your pastoral ministry. And how do you do that? How do you get that? How do you grow in pastoral judgment? You already are. You have many years under your belt, brother. You already are. And I just want to encourage you to keep growing in it. 2 suggestions for how to grow in it. Number 1, hang out with people who have good judgment. Learn from people more mature than you are, who have good judgment. Watch them. Listen to them. Let them be examples to you. That's been so immensely helpful in my own life. And then the second practical suggestion is be sure you're nourishing your heart and your mind on the biblical book of Proverbs, on all the wisdom that God offers in the book of Proverbs, so much of which contributes to good judgment. It informs good judgment. I hope that the book of Proverbs is a regular part of your biblical diet for your heart and your life. It will train you in good judgment. Pastor James, I'm so pleased. All of our district staff are so pleased that you are now in the saddle on site as the lead pastor of Swan Lake Evangelical Free Church. And I just want to wish you all the best in your ministry, in the power of God's Spirit, for the glory of Christ and the good of his church and the harvest field in Cottonwood and the surrounding community. Thanks for letting me be a part of this, your very first Sunday, and we look forward to see what God is going to continue to do. Blessings to you.